I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play 10. It's ages 10 and up, 1 to 5 players, and it takes 15 to 30 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to get the most points. You earn points by collecting cards, and if you look at page 13 in the rule book, it shows you how you get to score 1 point per card in your longest consecutive run of each color you can collect, and there's a bonus point you get if you have 1 to 9 in any color. For game setup, we have a 3-player game set up here, and the first thing you do is you remove out of the deck any of the cards with a little 4 square kind of diamond icon in the bottom corner. If you're playing a 2-player game, you also remove any of the icons with the 3 squares in the corner. And then for 4 and 5-player games, you don't have to remove any cards. Then each player is dealt one of the little reference cards. You take the number of how many players you have. So we have 3 players, and one of them has this little pond icon on them. And whoever you end up shuffling that and giving it to gets to be the first player in the game. And each player starts with 5 tokens. At this point, all this first player has to do is start flipping out cards. And what you're doing is the value of the cards, if your pile out here equals more than 10, it can equal up to 10, but if it goes over 10, then you're going to go bust. So they have 2, 4, 8, and they say, oh, that's pretty close. I'm going to stop, collect these cards, and then play goes on to the next person. So they get to go, and there are positive cards and those are negative cards, and you can go bust either way. If it goes over 10 or if it goes under 10. So right now the value they have out here is -4, but then it's back to +1. So sometimes you can collect a lot of cards with some of these negatives coming along. So we're at +4. They flip out, you're at you're at -2. Now you're at +4, and we'll see if we can do another one. Woo, +6. That was really good. They're going to stop, and they're going to choose. You can choose to collect either the negatives, the value of those. You can collect those in money or these chips, or you can just collect the cards. If this person collects these cards, then the other players get to collect the pips, the chips from what they had out here. So they get 7 each. However, you start the game with 5 each, and there's a max of 10 you can have in your hand. So they only get 5 each, which is still pretty good. So they each get 5, and then these cards go in the discard pile, and it's the next player's turn. Now, at any point, a wild card, yes, I rigged this, a wild card can pop up, and that's when it doesn't count towards your point value out here. Everyone bids at that point. So it starts the person to the left of whoever flipped the card out, and you get to bid once. So they can say, I guess I'll bid, I would be willing to pay 1 chip for one of these for this. And the next person can say, oh, I bid 2. And then this person can say, well, I pass. I don't want to bid more than 2 for 2. So they would win. They have to pay and collect the card. And then this person gets to continue their turn as normal. And it's -5, it's to 0, it's to 3, and yes, more than 1 wild card can come out in a turn, and you just pause whenever that happens, and you do the same thing. So this person's again, this is any number you want it to be for orange. This 2 can be any color, but it has to be a 2. This is any number, so you can just, once you collect it, you can put it anywhere it fits. So this person's going to say 3. This person could bid more if they were willing to sell one of their cards. This comes up later in the game. As you can see, there are 2 orange twos out here, so sometimes you end up collecting more than one of the same color card, which really does you no good. So then it's worthwhile you just say, oh, okay, this counts as like another chip, and so I could sell it at some point. So they could bid more than 3, but they're not going to. They say, I don't like to do that yet. So this person's going to win it for 4. They'd like to get it. So they collect this, but it's still their turn. So they're up to positive 3. They flip this out. Oh, it's a 9. They went bust. If you go bust on the positive numbers, then everybody collects, the other people that did not go bust collect 5 chips. However, this person can't collect anything. They're still at the max, so bummer for them. Makes this person feel better about going bust. This other person gets 5 chips, and now these cards aren't discarded. They go to the side to the market, and anyone can buy one of these cards. If you have a successful turn that does not end in a bust, you can use your chips at the end of your turn, still as part of your turn, to buy one of these cards for its face value. So 5 is worth 5 of these, 3, 3, 9 is very pricey. It is 9 chips. So that's it for this person, and it's the next person's turn. The other aspect to a bust is you get to collect a bust token, which does not count against you for your, even this person who has 10 of the black tokens could end up with a bust token. It doesn't count against you. And they're worth 3, but you can't split them up and have them make change for them, or have it to be where you wanted to spend 1 for a card over here and then you get 2 black tokens back. You must use them in their entirety whenever you use them. If it had been a currency token, then the players don't get the currency token value. You would just discard all of these if you had it get to negative 12. You would just discard them over here, but you would still put any regular number cards over in the auction pile over here to the side in the market. So really, that is everything you need to know for the entire game. Use the reference card that is dealt out to you, and that is all the info you need. Front and back, they have a really nice diagram of what you do phase by phase. I mean, if it's wild, if you're going bust, if you can continue, it's all laid out for there, and it even has a really nice diagram of what happens for different kinds of busts. And so that's it. You play through until this pile is gone, and then you line up your cards, and I'll show you what scoring looks like. Here's what the end of a game might look like. We'll say that it so happens to be this person's turn. There's only a few cards left, so they're going to flip them out, and you just play a normal round. It's up to 3, 6. All the cards have been played, so they get to collect the cards they just earned into their stacks over here. And at this point, each person has an opportunity to buy something from the marketplace before the game is over, starting with this active player. There isn't anything in the marketplace that actually helps this player that they can afford. They have 1 token and just a few extra cards here. There's 1 or 2 cards they'd be interested in, but they can't afford them. So it's the next person's turn. They would like to buy the 7, and they're going to go ahead and buy this 7. They have 3 tokens, and it just turned out that all these wild cards they had duplicates of, so they don't actually need any of these. So 3 plus these 4 cards. It's very sad to have to discard wild cards, but oh well. They get this 7 and fit it into their run here, and then it's this player's turn, and they're going to go ahead and just use their tokens to buy this 5 and fit it in, and then they can move this to up here. And at this point, everybody just counts their cards. It's very simple. You just count 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this one's not part of the run. You have to make sure it's consecutive in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. You count 3. You do the largest runs, and just remember you get a bonus if you have 1 to 9 in any color, and then whoever has the most points is the winner. So that's how to play 10. The target demographic for this game I would call advanced family level gaming. It's just a bit more than just a standard family game, but the basics aren't too hard. You can get up and running with the basics, but then in order to do really well and succeed, you're having to make some good decisions in how you balance your luck and your chips and what you're spending it on. So there's a bit there. I mean, it says ages 10 and up, so it's a little bit more than just having young kids involved. Rule complexity is medium. The first time through, the basics of the game aren't too hard, but some of the how you manage auctions or bidding on the wild cards that come up, how exactly people collect their chips, their tokens is a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's more, most of this game is just how you best manage your strategy as you play and knowing when to push your luck, which is always the question. How competitive? Medium, it mostly feels like it's you against the cards when we play, which I like because there's some player interaction, but there's not a lot of potential for hurt feelings. The main player interaction is when you're bidding on the cards and you can see how many chips other people have and kind of trying to decide how you bid accordingly. But usually it seems like when we play, people say, oh, logically that makes sense that you would bid that amount. So it's more you against the game itself rather than you against your opponents that you're playing, which is a nice level of gameplay if you want everybody just to have a good time. The replay value is high if you like this kind of game. I love this kind of game. This is right up my alley. And I like that it's the type of game you can play a game in 20 minutes. And so most of the time when we get this out and play it, we end up playing at least 2 or 3 times because it's so quick and it's so fun to play. And you just want to see, oh, next time, how is it going to shake out when you play? Similar games, if you like this one, Push is a much easier, very family level push your luck card game that we love. And then also Point Salad is from the same board game company and has kind of a similar feel and level of gameplay. It's maybe a little bit easier than this one, but it's very fun, very popular. And if you like this, you should check it out. But I have been thoroughly enjoying 10, and so I hope you check it out. Thanks and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.